and welcome to another Carpenter tutoring tutorial. I'm Amy, and today we are going to talk about how to take ordered pairs that might have been given to you by a problem or by a teacher and graph them on the coordinate plane. Whenever we're graphing ordered pairs, we have to keep in mind that the first coordinate of any ordered pair is telling us the position that we need to take on the x-axis, and the second number is telling us the position that we need to take on the y-axis. Let's take a look at our first ordered pair, which is the point 2, 3. The 2 is telling me that I need to find a 2 on the x-axis. That happens here. So I know that my point is going to be somewhere on this line, because this is all of the points that have an x value of 2. It's all the places where we're at that x value of 2. I also know that my y value is 3. So I look on the y-axis and find the 3. All of the points on this graph that have a y-coordinate of 3 will be somewhere on this line. So the point 2, 3 is the point where these two lines overlap, which is right here. I can double check my work after I get rid of these lines and make sure that this point is both at the 2 for x, which it is, and at the 3 for y, which it also is. That's one way that we can graph ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. Another way is to start at the origin and move the number of spaces that our ordered pair tells us. We'll try using this method for the next point. So our next point is -1, -4. The -1 tells me how I'm going to move in the horizontal direction. It's important for us to note that we're always starting from the origin. The origin is the place where the x and y axes intersect. So we'll be starting right here. Now that we know our starting point, we can think about how the ordered pair tells us to move. An x-coordinate of -1 tells me to go one jump in the negative direction, which for the x-axis is to the left. So I'll start at the origin and take one jump to the left. That puts me right here. Now I have to think about the impact of the y-coordinate. The y-coordinate is -4, so that's telling me to take 4 jumps in the negative direction. For y, the negative direction is down. So I'll go back to the point that I found after taking my one jump to the left and go 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps down. That puts me here. Because this point is one jump to the left and 4 jumps down from the origin, this is the point -1, -4. Now that we've seen a couple different ways to plot these points, you can use whichever method you like best, and you may find that things get easier as you practice more of them. Let's take a look at our next point, which is the point 0, -2. The 0 in the x-coordinate is telling us that there's no horizontal movement from the origin at all. So that tells me that I'm not going to take any jumps to the left or the right from my origin. Instead, I'll stay right there. This tells me then that the y-coordinate is going to be the part of this point that determines where the point is going to be. So we have a y-coordinate of -2 that tells me to go 2 jumps down. I'm starting from the origin still because I didn't have to move anywhere with this 0 x-coordinate. So I'll go 2 jumps down, 1, 2, and put my point right here. Last but not least, we have the point -5, 4. When numbers tend to get bigger like this, we're further away from the origin in both the horizontal direction and the vertical direction, I tend to use the first method that we tried for the orange point rather than starting from the origin. But both ways will still work. So the way that I like to approach this question is first finding my x-coordinate, which I know will be -5, and then finding my y-coordinate, which is 4, and looking for the point where these two would meet. Since I know that the 4 is higher than 0, I know from the -5 I should go up. And since -5 is to the left from 0, I know that from the 4 I should also head to the left to find the intersection point. Looks like these two will meet right here. So that tells me that this purple point is our point -5, 4. No matter what method you choose to use to plot points on the coordinate plane, we always have to make sure that we're moving in the x direction first based on that first coordinate, and then the y direction second based on the second coordinate. As a quick handy guide, remember that in the x direction, positive tells you to go to the right. So any positive value means go to the right that many jumps. Meanwhile, a negative value tells you to move to the left that many jumps. In the y direction, a positive value will tell you to move up that many jumps, and a negative value will tell you to move down that many jumps. As long as we keep track of the relationship between the symbol on our value and the direction we have to travel, you'll be able to plot any point that's given to you. I hope it's been helpful to go over the methods for graphing ordered pairs together. As always, if you have any remaining questions or other topics that you'd like to see covered, please let me know down in the comments. If you enjoy our content, I hope you'll consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, and I'll catch you next time.